Hey guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I want to do something a little bit different on here today. Now, I read meditations on here on a regular basis, but I usually read the Melody Beatty meditations. Today I'm going to read from the book, The Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. The earlier part of last year, I read from this book all the time. Today I'm going to go back over like the last 4 or 5 days, and I'm going to read a meditation, talk about it a little bit, and then go into the next day. Because as I was going through the last couple of days, I was like, I really like all of these meditations in here when I was looking back over them. So I thought, why just pick one? Why not do 4 or 5? And they're really, really short, so it'll be easy to do. Plus, I thought it would give, like several different talking points. Like we're sitting down, we're having this is like in the conference center at work, we're having a meeting. So tomorrow, well, I guess tomorrow is Saturday. On Monday, you can take all these talking points with you. You can do a PowerPoint presentation on meditations that you've learned from Peterisms on Friday or the weekend, whenever you're watching it. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. We are getting ready to get anywhere between 4 and 8 inches of snow in Indianapolis. I'm, fingers crossed, hoping for 3 feet of snow, like the big winter, what was it, The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. So that we'll get stuck in the house over the weekend and just have to watch Netflix all weekend long. But that probably won't happen. So anyway, we'll probably end up getting like a ½ an inch of snow. That's what always happens. In the north and south, they get tons. So anyway, but yeah, I've got everything done. I'm ready to just kind of relax for the weekend. So I'm really excited about it. And of course, very peaceful and serene. Like I say almost every day, I got up today and did my meditations, and I went and got coffee. I came back, took a shower, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of been hanging out, doing some stuff at the house tonight. So it's been really nice. The first meditation that I'm going to read is actually from January 8th, and it is called Difficult Times. I ask not for a lighter burden, but for broader shoulders. Jewish proverb. Learning to handle problems is like lifting weights. The more we do, the stronger we become. None of us wish for problems, of course, but when they come along, and we all must face problems in our lives, we can take solace in knowing that we are gaining coping skills that will help us in the future. I have learned a lot from the most difficult times in my life, and I am a stronger person as a result. I think it's a really great meditation because when we're going through really, really hard times, I think many of us complain, many of us, say, oh God, I can't believe I'm going through this again, my life is so difficult, my life is so hard, things like that. But once we're on the other side, I used to do this analogy about difficult times. It's like, have you ever taken a road trip, like with your friends or your family, and you're the one driving, and you can see like in the distance, right, like really dark clouds, and you're like, there is a horrible, horrible rainstorm coming, right? And you're like thinking, well, maybe we should pull over, and you're seeing all these cars pull over. Boo Radley is begging for my attention. Only when I'm on camera, right? He said, okay, I'm going to be a good boy. So be a good boy back there. So anyway, let's see. So, okay, so you're driving on this road trip, right? See how easy it is for me to lose where I'm going? Just like the road trip. Okay, get back. So, have you ever been taking a road trip and there's like dark clouds and you are like, it is going to be a downpour, right? Like absolute, absolute downpour. And you're like, well, should I pull over? You see all these cars pulling over. All these people are like, okay, they're going off the exit. They're like going to wait it out, right? And you're like, no, and you're kind of like white knuckling it through it. And then you get closer and closer and it looks even worse once you get closer to it. And you're like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to make it through this, right? And you finally are like, okay, I can either pull off now, we can wait it out, or I can just push through it. And you push through it, right? You white knuckle it, you're scared, you don't know what to expect, you don't know how bad it's going to be, but you push through it, right? And then you get to the other side, and blue skies everywhere, right? And you look in your rearview mirror, and you see how dark the clouds were, and you think to yourself, well, that really wasn't that bad. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And what you realize is you can make it through a whole lot more than you thought you could. But at the time that we're going through it, it's so difficult. It's so hard, right? Like we think we're going through the worst stuff of our entire lives. When really what we're doing is we're going through something and we're learning about ourselves. We're learning coping skills. We're learning that we actually can handle a whole lot more than we give ourselves credit for, right? That we can actually weather the storm, so to speak. So we have to give ourselves credit for that. And I think this is a great meditation to remind ourselves of that. I will say this, you can get this meditation book literally anywhere. My best friend Tanya, we were in the Meijer one night, which is like Walmart, and they had it there. And I actually think they have it at Walmart too. Okay, so the next one, January 9th, is Smiling. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a Buddhist monk, and we actually did some readings of his on this, well, I did some readings of his on this channel and discussed it. Physiologically, it's been shown that smiling can make us feel happy, even if we are forcing the smile deliberately. Regardless of the science, it makes sense to smile, whether we feel like it or not. A smile energizes our brain as well as our muscles, and we don't want our face to settle into sadness. As silly as it may seem, I'm going to remind myself to smile regularly today, and then I'll see what happens. You know, I really, on a daily basis, like when I'm out, like in public and at home, I really try to smile a lot at people, you know? You never really know what somebody is going through when you meet them on the street throughout the day, whether at the grocery store, at the gas station, wherever, you know? And I really try to meet somebody with a smile because you don't know what they're going through, and I don't know. For me, it's like when I'm dancing in my car listening to music, or I'm with my friend and we're laughing, or my husband and we're telling a funny story and we're laughing, or I'm just smiling in general. It just makes me feel better, right? Like it just, I don't know. It's hard to be sad when you're smiling so hard. That being said, I think there were many times in my life that I smiled to make other people feel better. About situations to do with me, if that made sense. Like when my mother had passed away at the beginning, you know, I just smile, oh, I'm doing good, I'm doing okay, you know. And I think that there are times when to smile because you genuinely, you know, feel good inside is one thing. To smile to cheer somebody else up, I think is another. But then I think it's a completely different situation if you're smiling to mask what's really going on inside of you, because you really don't want anybody else to know. We don't have to let the whole world know what's going inside of us. But I do think that it's fair for us, fair to ourselves, to share with at least one other human being what we're really going through. And maybe by sharing with them, that will help us, you know? And then we'll start, did you see B. Radley just jump? And then we'll start being able to smile naturally and not have to fake it with a mask, you know? And I remember my mom was somebody that, like, for a very long time, this story, I've told this story in my vlog before, it's kind of funny. But, you know, she would always smile at people in public and just, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? And all this kind of stuff, you know? And my aunt was too. It's probably a technique they learned growing up when things were really probably not that great. And I remember my mom called me one day and she said, I'm so tired of being fake when I go to stores and stuff. And I go, what are you talking about? And she said, from now on, when people ask me how I'm doing, I'm going to say, I'm not doing very well. And I said, okay, Mom, let me know how that works out for you. Something like that. It was, I don't know. I don't know the exact wording, but it was something like that. So I don't know. But I think it is, you know, good for us to laugh more, to smile more. And, you know, my best friend and I, when we drive around, and I think that, you know, like, our husbands are so thankful that we have that, because we go and we get fountain pops and drive around when both of our husbands are asleep. And, you know, it's very therapeutic for both of us. And yes, we solve the world's problems and we have deep conversations, but we also laugh and tell the funniest things about ourselves and remind ourselves of memories that we have that are really funny. And it's cathartic, it's therapeutic, you know, it's so good for us to, you know, laugh and get that out. And I need that from somebody. Look at the next picture on that meditation book. It's beautiful. It's like a winter, that's what I'm hoping it'll look like in our backyard tomorrow when I wake up. It's so funny, isn't it, how just like the smallest things can make you happy, like, you know, a snowstorm, or, you know, just like I have candles lit all over the place tonight, and just like the smell of the candles in here, you know, or just my dogs, even though they're, I have to show you guys this, okay? This is, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but, are you ready? Look at this. Boo, Tucker. You guys, I tell you, every day I have this little audience, okay? And Pee-Pee's right next to me. They're so adorable, aren't they? You guys are so cute. Okay, now they're up, they're wanting to play. Okay, January 10th, day by day. It's the little things that make me happy in life. It is truly, truly, truly the little things. Like, it isn't the big, huge stuff, right? Like, yeah, those things are nice, but the little things are the things that make me so happy. Day by day. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Annie Dillard. Next week, next month, next summer. That's when the good times will come. But right now, we're just trying to get through today, and maybe tomorrow, and with luck, the day after that. Let's not miss our lives while they're happening. We can make choices about what we want to do right this moment. Sure, the garbage still needs to be taken out and work has to be done. But even in the rush of the everyday, we can take time to appreciate what we have. I'll give myself a few minutes to appreciate a beautiful sunrise, the comfort of my warm bed, the sheer joy of a baby's laugh, or even the pleasure of solitude. Whatever my life holds today. it's a meditation of gratitude. It's fantastic, and it's exactly what I was talking about right before this, you know, as Boo Radley is, again, wanting to have so much attention. This little guy, I'm telling you, he loves his dad so much, don't you? He said, well, I love to be held by my dad. Are you having a good day today? Just even standing outside and watching these little guys, like, chase around. Like, he especially is so funny because, like, Tucker is so well behaved. Now he's like, okay, now I'm ready to come over. But Boo Radley will chase anything in the yard. It is so hilarious. And this little guy right here, this little guy, my little cow. Why do I call you my little cow? He said, because I look like a little cow. He is so, out of the three of them, he is the most well-behaved, aren't you? Aren't you? You want to show him your ear? Do you want a little treat? Well, we're going to have one in just a second, okay? You sit right down there. So, you know, just like I can take these dogs outside and be walking around the backyard, and people are like, oh my God, you have 3 dogs, that's a lot. Yes, it is a lot. It is a lot to take them outside and, you know, like feed them and all that kind of stuff, take them to the vet, on and on and on, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. I can't imagine not having them in my life. He's being so sweet. He's laying in my lap right now. Okay, let's do one more, Tucker, should we? Okay, January 11th, that's today, making opportunities. Opportunity is missed, but I want to say one last thing about gratitude. You know, I cannot speak enough about the importance of doing gratitude lists, whether you do them in your head, whether you write them down. Boo Radley, what are you doing back there? I cannot express enough the importance. He's digging a little hole back there to sleep in. I cannot express enough. You know, I'm going to pause actually for a second. I know that this vlog or this video is all over the place, but Tucker does something that I was going to talk about in a whole video. And what he does is, like, when I scratch him or I'm like, you know, just like patting his head, he'll then go like this to me. He just did it, and I wish I could show you. But, you know, I was going to do this whole meditation the other night, and I kind of forgot about it till this moment. But it's interesting because, you know, Tucker is one dog that all he really, really wants is to be loved and to be touched and to be, you know. And I remember my mom when she was sick, and she would say, would you just come over and, like, read to me tonight? Or, you know, like when my mom had alopecia, and I've talked about this on here, she just really wanted somebody just to, like, comb her hair, to brush her hair, that wouldn't judge her. And I think many of us just want to be loved. We just want people to say nice things to us, you know? We just want, and I think, like, Tucker's a good example of that as a dog, but, you know, I mean, it's no different with people. I just think that most of us just want somebody to be nice to us. It's just really not that deep. And I think that the more that we're nice to other people, you know, he's literally pawing at me because he wants all the attention. They're fighting for attention now. You know, I think the nicer we are to other people, the maybe the nicer that they are to us in return. But it's hard. And I think, you know, there are so many people out there that are so kind and so giving, and yet they're so alone, and it makes me very, very sad. So you never know who you're encountering on a day-to-day basis. Let's be a little kinder. Let's be a little nicer. I think most people in general just want to be loved, you know? Okay, making opportunities. I cannot believe they've let me do this meditation for this long. January 11th. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison. Other people get all the breaks, don't they? Or so we tell ourselves. While it's true that sometimes others really do get a break, we could do a lot more to create our own breaks if we really wanted to. Did we skip an opportunity to get some training because it was scheduled after work hours? Did we pass up a chance to try something new because we were nervous about whether we could do it? Maybe it's time to roll up our sleeves and work a little harder or longer. How can I create my own opportunities at work or in my personal life? What steps do I need to take? And I think it's really important. You know, it says work life in here, but not just with work life, but with the things that you love to do too. You know, whether it's reading or whatever. And I know that this is going to sound crazy, but, you know, sometimes at the end of the day, like, my eyes are tired and I just want to get my contacts out, and I'll take my contacts out upstairs and I'll come back downstairs, and, you know, I'll be sitting here before I go to bed drinking a glass of water or a cup of sleepy time tea or something, and before I go to bed I'll, like, read a couple pages, and I'll be like, God, I really don't want to read right now. My eyes are tired. I'm tired physically, and I'll start reading, and then, like, I'll go to bed, and, like, what I read, like, really resonates with me, and it really helps me relax. I think to put a little bit more time, and I'm going to show you, this is hilarious, okay, since I'm saying that he wants attention here. I keep on doing this, but do you see that? You can't see it now, but he's too low. Every time I pet him, if I stop, he does it again. He's like, I want more, I want more. But, you know, I think to put a little bit more effort into the things that we want to happen in our lives, you know, I'm a big believer that when opportunity meets desire, great things happen. Well, the reality is that we have a lot of desire, and opportunities happen around us all the time, but we ignore the opportunities because it's like, oh, that's going to take me too much work, or oh, that will never happen, and we talk ourselves out of it, instead of taking a risk. We need to take more risks on a daily basis and really give ourselves the opportunities to have the most successful life we can possibly have. So, all right, I'm going to get off here now. These guys are dying for me to be off this video. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic beginning to your weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.